So the quote, most Americans might understand this, is by Thomas Payne. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. It's a quote
Love
by
it.
Thomas Paine, and as an American, that is the essential belief that we were founded on, and that is that liberty and freedom is above all. And I
Yeah.
am sick and tired of other people who come to this country or don't live in this country trying to tell us how bad we are, how wrong we are. We're not nice enough. We're not good enough. We don't give enough. We're not DEI enough. We don't accept certain people into our country. We're careful about it. I'm sick and damn tired of it. We gave a lot of blood to gain our freedom from England. We gave a lot of blood to end slavery. And I've seen both my grandfathers go to World War II. I have family that has fought in the Gulf War, etc. And I'm sick and tired of it. We give enough. We have given enough. And don't come here and tell me how bad we are. If you don't want to come here and don't like the way we do things, go away. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm not going to England. I'm not going into any other country and tell them how to frickin' do their crap. I'm just sick and damn tired of it.
Based on the quote that you just read, if the Americans who value their liberty and they're tired of the people who are coming out and challenging the liberty that so many people have bled for and fought for, then what I think Americans and every other patriot in the world needs to understand is that the job is not finished because other people fought and bled for your liberty.
The point is
That fight
freedom
continues.
the point is that freedom is not free. It has a cost. Liberty and freedom has a cost. Even Americans have lost their way on that. And I
But
don't want us to lose our way on that. And I want to spread that actual mentality to everyone. And I think right now, the Israelis and the Iranians get it better than anybody else, even better than a lot of Americans do.
yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to make, Sherry. Like, listen to this part, okay? This is the point that I'm trying to make is when you say liberty and freedom is not free, the reason why many Americans don't appreciate that is because they achieve liberty, but Iranians and Israelis are fighting for their liberty because they see it. They see the possibility of losing it because they're surrounded by enemies. And what we need to make more Americans understand. Let me make my point first, right? What we need to make more Americans understand is that the fight for liberty does not end when you get liberty, because after you get liberty you need to fight to protect liberty, you need to fight to keep it. So when we say liberty and freedom is not free, many people forget that once the initial people who fought for it and bled for it, when they accomplish that mission, a lot of people start not appreciating it because other people did the fighting. So the
Exactly.
American yeah, so the American patriots. Okay. So I hear you. You're saying you're tired of this, right? But like on top of being tired of this, I think we should pick up, like, we should fight for it. We should fight for liberty. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, I agree exactly. If you didn't have to pay for it, if you gave up nothing for it, then you take it for granted. And we see how hard Israel has to fight for it, gosh, since 1948. We see how hard Iran is fighting now, and I want to continue that fight with you side by side,
Thank
but as Americans, we are just so absolutely 100% spoiled rotten. We don't understand and appreciate the blood that was spilled to give them what they have now. One of the things was, I think it was John Adams said, "I'm going to fight for politics and freedom so then my son can study in colleges, so then my grandson can appreciate playing art." Well, isn't that coming to fruition in a bad way?
Yep, Sherry, this is why Susanna, my former co-host, she mentioned on a live show that we had that she, as an American, she learned the meaning of freedom from Iranians. Like she had freedom all like her entire life as an American, but she started appreciating the value and the meaning of freedom from Iranians. That's and it's not because it's not. By the way, it's not because like the Iranian people like are inherently like wiser or anything like that. Like this is not so. It's not because like there's something inherently wrong with Americans and that Iranians have inherently this superior level of understanding. Okay, it's because you start understanding the value of water when you don't have water, like when you're thirsty, right? So the reason why the Iranian people like one way to appreciate freedom is because is through the eyes of people who understand the value of it because they don't have it and they're fighting for it. And I think, Sherry, one way of helping more Americans understand the value of freedom is with this global, like making people connected, like Iranians and Israelis and Americans, because I think that's one way to make Americans appreciate what they have more is through them experiencing the fight of people from Israel and Iran and what they're willing to do to be able to get what the Americans, the level of security and the level of freedom that Americans have. So this connection,
Thank you.
building these bridges helps. Yeah.
Thank you for your time, Armin, and that's one of the things you have created here, and I appreciate that. And then before I leave, how about everybody give a little thumbs up for all our moderators?
Yes, yes, thank you. You're lovely, Sherry. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. I saw some people wanted to talk about this.
I'm going to quickly comment before I bring up the people who respond. It seems to me that there is some correlation between people who haven't gone to see true dictators, who haven't gone to see true suffering, who haven't lived in third world countries before immigrating to America, though who were just born here, who sometimes seem to have opinions about only how horrible it is here and a utopic idea of what it should be here, and no absolute idea at all what it's actually like in other places. Not to claim to know everything by marriage association, but my husband is from a third world country, and his family, along with many, 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 many families that are part of his community, and on one side of my family who came here from another place, all have a very different idea about how wonderful it is here, even more so than I do. And I'm like decently patriotic nowadays.
Thank you,
Seems,
Samantha.
it seems very ignorant, some of the comments and some of the ways that people view this country. So, and as a family who does sacrifice a lot for this country, I appreciate someone like Sherry coming in and making that distinction very clearly, because to those of us who are still in the fight in real ways, not to say that protesters aren't doing anything or people online aren't doing anything, but I'm talking about skin in the game. We see things a bit differently, and it is a very bad taste in our mouth. People who don't know what they're talking about speak it loudly, and do so on the backs of those of us who actually sacrifice and are actually willing to do something about making this country better, not just sitting behind a keyboard or sitting behind a poster, but literally putting our lives on the line for those freedoms to make things better. We don't believe that it's perfect, but we are actually doing something about it. So to be appreciated and seen in that way, Miss Sherry, I appreciate you for that. Okay, next to respond, we have Samantha and then Rebecca.
I mean, the thing is, America is a horrible country. It's just every single country is an absolutely horrible fucking country, and America is less horrible than most other countries, but it's still a fucking horrible country. I mean, so I understand where these people are, like, I understand where they're coming from because, like, I'm taking America's side, not because America is great, because America is fucking horrible. It's because it's only because I understand just how fucking more horrible things can get that I'm on the side of America. And I feel like that's a very scary thing for people who understand how horrible America really is to have to come to that realization of, oh shit, the world really is this fucked up that, like, it gets way more fucking horrible from here. So, I mean, like, I'm at the look, I mean, come on, let's be serious. Our country, like America, basically is ran by pedophile enablers. That is the state we're at. We are run by pedophile
No.
enablers. The unfortunate reality is every country is ran by either pedophile enablers or pedophiles, so we don't have a choice to not have pedophiles or pedophile enablers running the fucking country. Because and like yeah, like that is a very scary thing to have to come to, but
Other people could respond before it gets to me because I saw some other people are in the response list.
Yes, we have Rebecca.
I think there is only one thing. I mean, America is amazing. The only thing that it did wrong is that it forgot to tell itself every year to see itself as if it was you and not others who went out of slavery into freedom. It was you and not your ancestors. It is your commandment to see yourself as if it was you that went out of bondage and became a free person. And every generation, somebody would come and try to take your freedom away. And every generation, you will fight them and will reobtain your freedom. And you must tell that to your child. That's your obligation. And that is all. And other than that, bring back the 10 Commandments to schools. And don't forget, liberty that was fought for, it is you that fought for that liberty. You must tell yourself, and every generation, somebody would come and try to take it away. And I give 2 brownie points for every person who understands exactly what I quoted.